We're on the last one in the Devo series, The Light is Everything, and it's called Light of the World. You knew we would get to that phrase. John is full of references of light, so many. John 1 says, in him was life and the light of all mankind. That's a pretty bold statement. It says light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can't overcome it. The writer says these words, and he also says that he wasn't the light, but he was a witness to the light. That's important. Jesus is the true light that gives light to everyone. The lights come into the world, but the people love darkness because their deeds were evil. And those who do evil don't come to the light because they're fearful that their deeds will be exposed. But whoever lives by the truth comes into the light so that they can plainly see what they've done in the sight of God. They find the light of the world. And it says, whoever follows the light of the world will never walk in darkness, but have the light of life. Jesus came into the world as a light so that no one who believes will have to stay in darkness. That's only half of the verses in John, because light is everything. A few things to note when talking about Jesus as light of the world is that we're not the light. We're witness to the light. So if there's any talk about us having light in us of ourselves, it's not true. If there's a teaching that we're divine by nature and we can bow to the light in someone else, that's not true. Jesus is the light of the world, and we've been invited to walk in that light because we have no light of our own. The light of the world is everything. The second part to notice in these verses is that darkness has not overcome light, and it never will. But some think it has now in the state of our world, but darkness just overshadows the light when we no longer walk in the light. We never walk in darkness when we follow the light of the world. And when we lose sight of Jesus in reading his word, following his example, in the way he and his Father were one, and the way he loved others, then we too walk in darkness. When we focus on the darkness and talk about it all day long, the light dims, not because it's not present, but because we're looking toward the dark. This is important. Light is everything. Now those who do evil deeds, it says, love the dark and are afraid of the light. I remember growing up being afraid as a little girl that everything I did was wrong. I felt like having fun was sin, wearing certain clothes was being seductive, not going to church every Sunday and multiple days a week was not holy. All sorts of things resulted in me living a fearful life in the shadow of the light. And I was afraid of the light because I thought its intent, or God's intent, was to expose me and shame me and shake a finger at me. And once I realized that coming into the light does indeed expose, but only forgives and creates peace and love, wow, the light changed everything. It became a source of hope instead of a thing to fear. Jesus is the light of the world, and we're called to walk in that light. We don't have to stumble, fall over, lurk in the dark, or any such way of living. Have you ever been putting on your makeup or getting dressed in the dark? Lots of things are missing, out of place, not smooth. Our colors don't match. It happens in storms when the lights go out. It happens when we're trying to dress in the dark because we don't want to turn on the light maybe to disturb someone that's sleeping. Or it happens when our eyes are aging and we don't wear our glasses because light is everything. The light exposes, yes, all the flaws and the mismatched socks and the things we can't find. And how awesome is that? But the light doesn't reveal those things so that we run and hide, but rather that we fix and glide. Light is everything. The light of the world shines in our hearts so that we then display the face of Christ to a dark world. Isn't that fantastic? When we're illuminated, when our hearts are exposed and forgiven and healed, we become a light. The Father of the heavenly lights that illuminates our dark skies shows that he's also a Father that shines on our dark hearts to reveal and heal and shine and align so that we walk in the light. The light of the world is not only everything, it's wonderful. And guess what? Revelation 22 says, there will be no more night. They will not need the light or the lamp of the sun, for the Lord God will give them the light, and he will reign forever and ever. There's nothing to fear from the light of the world, Jesus. He's the way, the truth, and the life, and the light. His love shines in the way he gave his life for us, inviting us to enjoy the relationship with the Father, one of Father to Son, and he draws us out of darkness and into light. And that darkness is evil deeds, desires, and hating our brother. It's not a light that causes us to shrink in fear and hide, but one that causes us to run and marvel. It's fantastic and brilliant and wonderful. The light of the world. Light is everything.